For the whole bag, all bands up. N1, know how sauce. All facts, bitch, I took the cap like off. Yeah. Something told me I didn't choose this lifestyle, it just chose me.
What up, Loyalty family? What's the deal, man? Y'all already know how this go, nigga. We got another reaction video. Today reacting to another Swamp Stories, man. I don't know if y'all enjoyed the Swamp Story reaction or me reviewing it or whatever the case may be. Y'all comment with some more Swamp Stories y'all want to see me do, and I'll bring this shit back to you. You dig what I'm talking about? Today we reacting to Houston, Texas split, 103 versus YSB. I don't know nothing about the YSB. I don't know nothing about the 103, right? I don't even react to too many people from Houston.
Welcome back to another...
I don't really react to many people from Houston as far as music, but y'all knows, man, go. Comment 5 stars being the highest, 1 star being the lowest, and send me your favorite clip there. I'll show you. Let's get straight into it, man. Let's press record. Let's press play.
Welcome back to another episode of Swamp Stories.
Okay.
For this episode, we head to Houston, Texas. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new.
Y'all hear
You can
him.
also follow the Swamp Stories Instagram page where you can request a video. So let's get into it. Welcome to Houston, Texas, also known as H-Town. The city known for 84 Swangers, Paul Wall, Pimp C, Lil Flip, and the list goes...
Hey, this is for my nigga King, because King always wants me to react to, you know, Texas music and stuff like that. So we bring in just Texas genre or topic in general.
On, but it's been a while since Houston has had the national spotlight, which is surprising, being
Who's
that
your
Houston
favorite
is
from
the
fucking
4th
H-Town?
biggest city in the country. But
You got
even in the
Zero, you
South,
got
Houston is
motherfucking Mike
overshadowed by
Jones,
Atlanta
Paul Wall.
or even smaller cities such as Memphis, Baton Rouge, and Mobile, Alabama. And for that reason, Houston didn't really stand out as a city that would be on Swamp Stories. So I figured that Houston's name doesn't really hold that much weight. But then I looked into it, and I was flat out wrong. Houston is active, trust me, and it has some legendary neighborhoods. Let me just put it like this. The 713 is nothing to play with, plain and simple. But there's more to Houston than that. The city has a unique culture like nowhere else. So let's talk about it. In the Bay, they burn rubber with sideshows and all that. In Florida, they put their cars on 30-inch rims. But in Houston, they love old school cars with rims that stick out.
Yeah, swangers, you know, Miss A.
Someone explain this to me. Why would you possibly put those
I think the
wheels
longest
on
somebody
your car?
told me was
What's
like
the
28
point? It
inches,
makes no
something like
sense. But it's not supposed to make sense to outsiders because that's just what they like. And something else they like is, how do I say this? Let's say they really enjoy good maple syrup. But for some reason, instead of putting it on their waffles, they put it in their beverages. They also put Jolly Ranchers in their drinks too.
Like he said, y'all. Clearly, y'all know Texas is like the staple of drinking lean. You know what I'm saying? This is where it came from. You know, Pimp C, all these type of dudes was drinking this shit at one point in time. You know what I mean? And they made it popular. Niggas was drinking that shit at 5 years old. You know, that's how accustomed they are to it out there.
So let's just say Houston has a really sweet tooth, and because of this maple syrup, they like to be laid back. But not everyone is laid back, and definitely not the people you'll see in this video.
Blood Path.
Because these guys are active, and that shows in the recent stats. In 2020, Houston had a homicide rate of 17 per 100,000. That puts them higher than Richmond, California. The number may not stand out as being that high, but considering the fact that Houston is mostly suburbs, this number is surprisingly high. That's because it all goes down in a few specific neighborhoods, 2 of which will be covered in this video. But before we get into it, let me run the intro.
So who the fuck is from what y'all? Well, he gonna let us know, but who else is like notable rappers that's that we may not ever heard of that y'all know that's
Houston is split up into 6 wards, and for those who don't know, a ward is basically like a district. Each ward has its own identity and flavor to it. But for today's video, we focus on the south side of Houston, but more specifically, the 3rd ward. The 3rd ward is probably the most famous neighborhood in Houston. The neighborhood is crazy for multiple reasons. First, there are 2 big colleges in the 3rd ward. The University of Houston and Texas Southern are both located right in the middle of...
Yo, what famous rapper is from the 3rd ward, y'all? Y'all gotta let me know.
Everything. 2 of the biggest party schools in the nation sit right in the middle of the trenches. Literally, Texas Southern's campus is right next to Houston's biggest public housing complex. They're called the CUNY Homes, and they have over 500 units of public housing located right on a college campus. This is basically the heart of the 3rd Ward, and they have pride in their neighborhood. So much so that they call themselves 103. This means 100% 3rd Ward. They have a famous rapper that represents them. Her name is OMB Bath.
Okay,
She's well known in Texas after dropping multiple hit songs over the past 5 years. But she's also known for being active in Houston. So that's the 3rd Ward.
I ain't gonna lie, I heard bad shit about her too though, man. I heard that she snitched. I'm not saying she snitched, but it's what I heard before, previously.
Also known as 103, but they don't move alone. They have a strong relationship with another neighborhood about 15 minutes south. Let me introduce you to Jurassic Park. The technical name is South Park, but locals call it Jurassic. So if you see someone with dinosaur emojis in their bio, chances are they're from South Park. This neighborhood is pretty big, you know, because everything is bigger in Texas, of course. But these guys can typically be seen at the Jarmis Apartments. But let me clarify this. In the South, you don't really have to be from the area you represent. On the West Coast, it's all about the neighborhood you grew up in. But in Houston, it's more about who you roll with and what you represent. And these guys represent something called Scoot Up.
So it's more like, oh, Scoot Up Gang, okay. So it's more like a clique, right? You know, not gangs, but it's more like a clique type of thing. Because like you said, more like in LA, we based it off of you got to be from the hood. It changed now. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it changed now to where a nigga can come. He never lived a day in his life in that street. And it's almost similar now, you feel me? It's almost similar to what he just said, you know? But back in the day, that was really like frowned upon, you know. In
order to explain this, we need to head back to 2017, which oddly feels like a million years ago at this point. But that's when a new movement began in Jurassic Park. A rapper named Kenny Lou began making noise in Houston with his new style of music. His unique style brought him millions of views on YouTube. Scoot Up became the movement in Jurassic Park, especially when a rapper named Lil Jeremy started to get famous. He's now a part of Lil Baby's 4PF, and that's a big reason why Scoot Up made a name for themselves. But along with success came challenges as well, specifically from their own neighborhood. On the west side of Jurassic Park, you have some guys that are not fans of Scoot Up. Let me introduce you to YSB, also known as Young Scott Block. These guys represent an apartment complex on Scott Street called the South Lawn Apartments. YSB is the original name, but they also go by another name. They go by Push Up. Now, like I said before, you don't actually have to be from the area to represent it, so not all.
So clearly, look, they already had their own type of beef with the words just Scoot Up and Push Up. Like, hold on, man, what you mean? I'm Push Up, we Scoot Up gang, you know?
All of them are actually from Scott Block. Push Up is represented by rappers It's 13 and Blue Strip.
Push up, push up, push up, push up. I'm good in my hood, they gon' push up. Slide.
Push Up.
So that was a lot of information, so let me simplify it for you. The 3rd Ward is 103, and they roll with Scoot Up, who are located in Jurassic Park. We are going to put them together to make things simple. They're orange for this video. Then on the west side, we have YSB, also known as Push Up, and we will put them in green. How about that? And although the names sound goofy, Scoot Up and Push Up are as serious as it gets. And like I always say, I can't possibly cover everything that has happened, or else
clearly y'all can see by the words, the play on words of Push Up and and Scoot Up, you know. I'm gonna scoot up on you, I'm gonna push up on you. It's the same thing, you know. Like, nigga, I'm gonna make it happen.
So it would be an hour-long video. So let's cover the most important events.
I don't know if he said that. He did say that.
My husband isn't like you.
I tried to prevent running into this ad, y'all.
But I can always count.
July 4th, 2017, a day of celebration and fireworks, but things would take a left turn in the 3rd Ward. Rapper FMB Long Money's family would be outside celebrating. His father Tony would be standing there, and that's when YSB Cash Out walks up, and bang! YSB Cash.
The crazy part is niggas be knowing niggas' names and all this shit. You feel me? And what's so crazy, I'm pretty sure these niggas interacted before, like, that same niggas, like he said, some of these niggas ain't grew up in that hood. So I could have moved to Push Up. Now, I'm from Push Up, but I used to live in Scoot Up. Now I know who Take Long Money is. I know who this person is and this person, you know.
Show takes off and bang. This night would be sad for both sides, but it would kick off something unstoppable. October 16th, 2017. A 103 3rd Ward man named Metroy Harris would be driving through Jurassic Park in a blue Mazda. He would have 3 passengers with him. They would hop out on Cullen Street when they see a Kia Sedona. Bam!
RP to all these individuals that lost their lives.
Police believed that it was related to the 103 and YSB situation, but that later would be disproven. Regardless, Metroy Harris got life. Let's fast forward a few months to a major event. May 10th,
Hold up. Record.
2018. Rapper FMB Long Money's sister would be at a bus stop with a high school senior named Antoine Murray. Antoine would allegedly argue with her, and FMB Long Money would come to mediate the situation. Antoine would allegedly walk away, and FMB Long Money would follow him. Bam! He would get back in his silver car and leave. On June 12th, he would go down for it. Now let me just clarify this. This is what was released to the public. My words are a reflection of alleged actions. This has not yet been proven. FMB Long...
So, look, I'm going to let y'all know right now, because I don't know if he about to say FMB Long Money right now is currently free, living life. He did what I'm talking about. So, like he said, this is allegedly. All this stuff is not... This could be... And I hate that he kind of put that in there, because now it could be portrayed that way. You feel me? Now, other people can look at him as like, yeah, he did it. But everybody know, you feel me? You know when you grow up somewhere, or you know what's really going on. When you in the streets, you keep your ear to the streets, you know what the fuck really going on. So they know what really happened. He know what really happened, and vice versa. His sister know what really happened.
Money would talk about it with Say Cheese. Since this interview, FMB Long Money's career has continued to progress, and he's hoping for the best result in the courtroom. His career has given a spotlight to the Scoot Up movement through his lyrics, but those aren't just words. Scoot Up are really about what they rap about. November 13th,
I think you got Big
2018,
Yabo. You
a
got a few
Lamar
other
high school
dudes,
student named DeLindsey Mack would be at school with his girlfriend Kiana. But she wasn't really his girlfriend. What I mean by that is she was asked by 103 to...
What did I tell y'all? There it goes right there, right? Deanna fuck with a nigga from the other side, but reality, she grew up in Scoot Up. So her loyalty in reality, sad to say it, her loyalty lies with them. You know, she just dealing with this nigga for whatever she wants to deal with him for. You know, she probably getting fucked or whatever the case may be, getting some money out of it. But in reality, she's dealing with a nigga that's from the hood for sure.
To walk with him outside after school. Now mind you, he's associated with YSB, so they would walk to the parking lot of a nearby church. That's when 103's Kendrick Johnson, also known as Lil Daddy, would pull up and bam!
R.I.P. DeLindsey.
Here's where things get interesting. DeLindsey Mack had struggled in school for the past few years, prompting him to skip a lot and to not do very well. He was going to school in the 3rd Ward, but then his parents moved him to Lamar High for a better education. And that's where he met his girlfriend Kiana. Kiana brought him joy, and his parents say that he was so excited about his new relationship. His uncle even says that he would wake up early just to see her before school in the morning. Well, with this description of her, you'd think she was the best thing for him. That's why she wasn't even thought about as a suspect. But that would change after Kendrick Johnson would go down. She would strangely go visit him, and that made police raise an eyebrow. So they would get permission to look through Kendrick Johnson's phone.
Wow.
There, they would...
I was about to say, I thought the nigga snitched on her. But clearly, like I told y'all, they was fucking with each other. I knew this from the real. I just clearly figured it out. Or they were related in some way.
Find a text conversation between him and Kiana from November 13th. They even found conversations from weeks before. They were plotting this for weeks. This would lead to her arrest. This right here should be a lesson to all the young dudes watching. Stay on your toes. Think with logic and look out for red flags, because love can be blinding, but manipulation can always be behind it. You never know what's really going on. Well, this event would turn everything up even further. Big news would come 2 weeks later. November 27th, 2018. Rappers Kenny Lou and Ghost would head to Club Onyx in their Mercedes sedan. They would pull into the parking lot, and bam!
R.I.P. Kenny. Keon, Tennessee.
This here would be the saddest news for Scoot Up, because Kenny Lou and Ghost really put them on the map, and many say that they were on their way to having a major...
And that's the cold part about it. That's what that fucked they hood up, so that really turned them up even more. Even, of course, because of Long Money losing his pops and all these... But this nigga was like a hero to these niggas, because he was the nigga that was showing them light, you know? showing them that it's a better way. So that's what kind of, you know what I mean? Fuck them niggas up.
Major career in music. February 22nd, 2019. YSB would have a party way out in South Houston, at least 30 minutes south of the city. At this party would be rapper It's 13's brother named Braxton. Bam.
Damn, RP.
These were the most important events that have happened, but don't think it's everything that's happened, because statistics show differently. Honestly, I don't really want to share the numbers that YSB and 103 have accumulated. You guys can look it up if you're interested. It's pretty bad. Maybe the highest levels that I've ever seen on Swamp Stories. And on that note, that's going to conclude this episode of Swamp Stories. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Also, you can follow the Swamp Stories Instagram page where you can request an episode.
Peace. Peace. All right, but y'all already know this go, man. That's the end of the video. If y'all kind of enjoyed the Swamp Story shit, let me know some more Swamp Stories that y'all want to see me react to, or just hood, what do they call them, hood stories, or just other shit besides Swamp Stories, you know what I mean? But y'all already know this go, man. That's the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, man. Make sure you share it to your auntie, your granny, and your motherfucking baby.
Yeah. Something told me I didn't choose this lifestyle, it just chose me.